I go, do you think I can meet him? He goes, you know what? He hangs backstage, talks to everybody. Like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I got like all excited, like a kid.
Like a girl.
Yeah, like a chick. Yeah.
Right.
So I call a few of my friends. A couple of them weren't in town, but my one buddy Deej, who's in beer league, he plays the Guido, third baseman. He's one of my best friends since high school. I said, dude, I think I can meet Springsteen tonight if you want to come. He's like, he's got a wife and 2 kids. He just blew it off. He said, honey, I got a chance to go. So she understands. So we go down to this place and we're driving down there and we're like, what the fuck am I going to say to him? And my buddy is even worse than me. I go, dude, I'm going to say something stupid. You're going to say something retarded. And we're trying to figure out what we're going to say to this person.
Well, you're rehearsing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so we get down to the place and it was all good music and shit. And we're watching. And the guy goes, Springsteen's here. And he's in the back. And I'm going, fuck. He goes, so you want me to say that you're on the Howard Stern show? I said, I guess if you say
Who knows?
I say if you say another celebrity's name, maybe it'll be easier,
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, and I said Howard did say he met him and everything was cool.
Yeah, I met him. He wasn't so talkative.
But actually, I'll tell you what. It's funny that I'm talking about him like this. You are totally one of those celebrities, Does. Like before I knew you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my buddy.
Sorry to disappoint you.
My buddy had this stupid mantra he used to say. Like he would get drunk and he would always go, I'm an uncultured white man from New Jersey. I pray at the altar of Bruce Springsteen, Howard Stern, the Giants, and Thurman Munson. I don't eat sushi. I don't he had this whole blue collar fuck you thing. But your name and Bruce's name was in that.
Awesome.
So anyway, and you've met Deej real quick, by the way. Yeah,
I was going to say I don't want to meet him. But,
at the premiere for Beer League.
Go ahead.
So now it's so funny how we're just 5 feet from this other just human being, and I've been in show business for a long time. I didn't think I'd be this jaded, and I'm fucking scared. And he's sitting there talking to a couple of people, and this kid taps him on his shoulder and says, hey, Bruce, this guy is Artie Lang. He's a big fan. He's on Howard Stern show at Sirius Satellite. I know he knows Greenstein too.
Right.
And he turns around, and again, like every other celebrity you meet, he's shorter than you think.
Right.
And he looked all disheveled like he usually does, and he goes, hey, man, how you doing?
Just like Bruce.
Yeah, just like it. And I go, hey, and it's funny how anticlimactic this is. Like, me and my buddy here, I'm going, my buddy nudges me, you go. And I go, hey, Bruce, how you doing? My name's Artie. I work on the Howard Stern show at Sirius. And he goes, all right, man, yeah.
That's cool.
And then I go, and this is my buddy Michael. So my buddy Deej, handshaking like a fucking chick, reaches out and Springsteen shakes his hand.
Probably all clammy.
So now there's a moment where he's looking at us, we're looking at him. There's other people around. It is the worst moment. And I go, listen, man, your music has really meant. This is what I said. I said,
good. Okay.
I said your music has really meant a lot to us growing up, and which is the truth, you know.
That's nice.
And my friend Deej said, yeah, man, it really has. And then Springsteen, when he goes, all right, man, all right, take care.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody wants to hear.
He was very nice.
Here's the problem. Let me explain something to you. That's the moment that you got to have a great set of tits.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Because then he's interested in you.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Then he holds your hand a little longer.
And again, it's funny, being a sort of celebrity on the other side, I almost know, you know what I mean? Obviously there's different levels. Like you and him are in one genre and I'm in another, but I've seen people come up to me who are fans of the show.
If that's a hot chick, you're suddenly involved in conversation.
And I know exactly. If it's a hot chick, I'm talking to him. But he's looking at me, a fat guy, probably the 4 millionth guy from Jersey who said his music means a lot to him.
But at least you got to say it to him, and you got to shake his hand.
In a weird way, we felt a little and he was.
I'm not as enamored by Bruce Springsteen as you are, but at the same point, meeting the guy's an icon.
Right.
And I wasn't enamored. I wasn't that into the music. I mean, I like some of his songs and stuff, and I know he's a genius and all that. But so when I met him, he was with his wife.
Right.
And we were by the buffet table. and I said, hey, he looked at me.
Right,
and I looked at him, and I went, hey. And I think we were both aware that we were in the room, but we didn't want to say hello to each other. It was a Mexican standoff.
Right.
Because the Mexican standoff was, look, I know you're there. My stand-up was, I don't know how you feel about me, and I don't want to be treated like a turd.
Right.
And then he's probably saying, oh, shit, this guy might be crazy.
But you're in that mode where you're both celebrities and you have to say something to each other.
So then we're going to go, hey, and he goes, oh, yeah, right. Like
The whole conversation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
Well,
and then the wife comes over, Patty Scialfa.
Right.
The ex-wife now.
And I go hi, and she stares at me. Her eyes are wide open, like she was seeing a monster from another planet. Like, I think she was a little bit either starstruck or, oh my God, this is.
You don't know what the look meant.
She just was. She couldn't stop staring.
Well, here's what happened.
I said, I must
She
have the
was
most.
frightened.
She was soaking in whatever it is I am.
Well, here's what happened. He was really nice, but it was just like a very, like, he said, all right, man, thanks. He goes, that's great. And,
Well, see, let me tell you what I did when I met Springsteen. I was at that Rainforest concert one year, and Springsteen was there, and afterwards they had that big party. And I know a lot of the guys, from going there years. I know James Taylor, I know Sting, and, So I waited until Bruce was in a conversation with James Taylor. And I said, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over and spend all my time talking to James Taylor.
You showed him.
Oh, right.
So I go over and I'm talking to James, and Bruce is just standing there, and finally James says, well, this is Bruce Springsteen. I went, oh, hi, Bruce. And he goes, hey, yeah, and he joined the conversation because he was being ignored.
Well, you had a good move.
There was a couple of things. He was nice, but a little apprehensive, and then I had met an assistant of his years ago, came to one of my stand-up gigs and said, Springsteen was really into Howard in the late 80s, but then, like, you must have said something that, I don't know, wasn't complimentary, but he always, like, really appreciated your humor on the radio, thought it was different and stuff, so afterwards we're going over this moment in our head on the way home. Like, he was a little apprehensive, and I was saying, maybe he heard your name and thought I was like a Stuttering John kind of guy with a tape recorder trying to ambush him, because he was a little like, hey, like, gone back. But he was real cool. But then the coolest part of the night was, it's a real small club. He went on stage with this Grusecki guy, and Gary will appreciate this. He did Johnny 99, Atlantic City, and Darkness on the Edge of Town. Nice. And it was just like with 400 people.
Like a personal concert.
Yeah, and it's like
And Grusecki played guitar?
And Grusecki played guitar. He's a great guitarist, and then Bruce jammed with the band till like 2:30 in the morning. Wow. And it was just a great night.
That's awesome.
I could tell you that, like, I would usually goof on Artie and say he sounds gay, but I'm as bad as him, and I've tried to meet Bruce like 4 or 5 times. I took to Patty once, held the door for his kid, and his mother let me hold his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame award. Like, that's as close as I get.
Well, you're skirting him.
I'm a stalker.
You're this close.
I am that close.
Alan, you're on the air.
All right.
Yeah. What's up with Artie? Man, he's being a fag for Bruce.
Dude, I agree with you, man. I agree.
That story you told, it sounded like 2 kids going to meet Santa. Like, what to say, and then we didn't say. But it is. I
caught my buddy D. Now, when we were 14, we would, we hitchhiked to one of his concerts once we were kids. Like, I've seen him 50 times, got every record. And, it's true. Like, some of his music when I was in L.A. and bluesy, I would listen to it, make me feel better. The same way I would listen to this show at 3 a.m. live in L.A. sometimes. It just made me feel like part of home,
It represented home.
Yeah, it did. But my buddy was just sort of on the way back. He's like, yeah, we met him. It was cool and everything, whatever. We stop at a diner on the way home, and I catch him. I'm going to the bathroom. He's on his cell phone with his wife going, I met Bruce. I met him.
Crazy.
He was like a total fucking kid.
Mark, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Howard, I think I've got a good idea for a show for Robin. You know how she's looking to recapture her youth and do all these things she's dreamed of with the auto racing and all? I want Robin to organize a 1-hour show that will eventually appear on Sirius satellite radio, like a lounge act kind of thing.
A lounge act?
And I want
I agree.
TV